Welcome and thank you for joining us. It's Financial Information Month, and we at Your Extra Hands, we felt that we needed to do a series of finance videos to assist you, our clients, and also the general public. I am Jillian Larab, the founder of Your Extra Hands. We support the businesses of young entrepreneurs, and as you can see our services above me, we are really set on a mission to help young entrepreneurs to use their business ideas to secure their financial future for them and their families. And we have someone here with us to deal with the topic that we're going to discuss. Many may know her because she's popular. So she'll introduce herself. Our guest, go ahead.
Thank you, Jillian. Thank you for having me this evening. Welcome to all our viewers. My name is Luana Laura, and I am the founder of Finance Focus, most popularly known for the YouTube series Financial Fridays, on which I share financial tips at the tip of your finger. And in the spirit of Financial Information Month, it's a pleasure to join Jillian to empower our viewers on improving their financial literacy.
Thank you for collaborating with us. And what we're going to discuss right now, excuse me, is statutory compliances for entrepreneurs and small businesses, because this is a topic that is often disregarded or not welcomed. But I know, and Luana, you know as well, that these are very important aspects towards having a business that is successful in the long run. So take us into that.
And you're right, because I worked at the Inland Revenue for about 10 years. So I've seen it firsthand when our small businesses come to the Inland Revenue and they don't have the records that they need to, or they're reviewed by the Inland Revenue and they don't have enough information to supplement the review. And I think generally we do not respect issues surrounding compliance in Dominica, especially small businesses. We believe we're small, we're under the radar, we're not making so much money, so we're not warranted to pay tax or to file our returns, to pay Social Security and such. And I believe our laws are sort of lax when it comes to ensuring that we comply. And it's usually after the fact we are left with these huge tax bills with penalties. And in an effort to sort of avoid these challenges and pay less tax and penalties, I think that's we should discuss some of these areas today. Jillian, you know, when a small business comes to you, they tell you they have an idea, everything, you put everything in place for them. They believe that they should just start operating.
Yes.
But they're forgetting the fundamental requirement to conduct business in Dominica is that they should be registered.
Yes.
It should be registered at the Companies and Intellectual Property Office.
Yes.
And not only should they register, but they should be mindful of the type of business that they choose to register. Why? Because, for example, registered companies, limited companies, they actually enjoy a stable tax rate of 25% of their net profit on the corporate income tax. Whereas if you were to register as a business name, trading as, your tax threshold would range from 15 to 45% of your chargeable income under the personal income tax.
Yes.
You know, and it's important that we know, we understand the factors behind the types of business that we open. yes, it's true, it might just be us alone, but we intend for the business to grow.
Right.
Which is not only going to be us alone for forever. We know that the sales are going to grow. We're going to employ employees. So we have to put the business in a position where it can stand on its own from day one. And in an effort to protect ourselves from bankruptcy, from lawsuits, we need to separate ourselves from the business. So when we're trading as, we're liable for everything. But if we give that business its own identity, it's a now a limited company, at least we can safeguard our assets from any losses.
Yes.
Now, apart from just registering at SIPO, you have to take into consideration that there are requirements that you have to meet. You have to renew your license, pay your license annually. You have to file your financial statements upon filing and pay that renewal fee of either $750 to $100 based on the number of shares that you have. Now, a lot of people believe that they can just go register their business today, they get their certificate of registration, and that's it. Now, come 5 years down the line, they now want to transition into a company or they want to change their directorship. And SIPO wants a statement of good standing. You have no records. You've never filed income tax. And they're telling you that because you have not filed yearly, you're now being charged $25 a month for each filing that you did not do. Right?
Yeah.
So we don't.
That's not pretty.
We don't consider all these things when setting up business. We feel like we can just get up and bed one morning and start making money.
Right.
Similar to the Inland Revenue, failure to file your tax returns by the deadline will result you in a 5% late filing penalty. And in the event that you are owing tax, you'll be charged a 10% late payment plus 1% every month until that tax liability is cut off. We don't think of these things, We just realize that it's a small business I have, man. They don't making money. I don't need to file.
We look at what's coming in. You look at what this one coming in, but not thinking about those responsibilities we have through the regulations that exist to pay out.
and we spoke about corporate income tax. We spoke about personal income tax. What about the individuals that are registered for VAT? Now we know how serious VAT is. We know how serious.
I have seen VAT office turn ugly on some people.
No. It should be noted, yes, that if you are not registered for VAT, you should not be charging VAT or collecting VAT.
I know.
On supplies.
I know.
I find it happening too often that a lot of people trying to put fast ones and they're charging VAT, or if they are registered, they're charging the VAT and they're not remitting the amount to Inland Revenue.
Yeah.
VAT is not, the tax is not your money. The tax is not your money. You're only a vehicle. You're collecting it on behalf of the state.
Yes.
Now, some people believe that though they're registered for VAT, if they don't earn sales for a period, they shouldn't file. But on contrary, you have to file a nil return, because if you don't file your return, whether it says $0.00, you risk being charged $100 a month for late filing penalty.
For a nil return.
For a nil return. So send the return, sign it with $0.00, even if you don't earn VAT for that month, because you are registered.
Just print the thing and sign that and send that up there.
Yeah, so if you don't, you might be making money and you think you're under the radar, but Inland Revenue can actually come to you and assess how much you've been making and tell you owe in VAT.
Right. Yes.
So you want to avoid all these things when you're in business. You want to be compliant. You want to be proactive. Ask as many questions as you can because you're in business. You have a duty. Now, when we think of those individuals that have the little shops in the countryside and those little rum shops, they too have to pay their licenses because it's an offense to sell retail liquor without a license. So you have to pay your liquor license annually. So it's not just setting up shop and saying, okay, I'm selling rum today.
Yeah.
You have to pay your license. Now, on top of all of that, the Income Tax Act speaks to business owners to keep their records for at least 7 years.
7 years. Yeah.
Now, we might think that's a long time.
But that bringing cockroach.
Where are you going and put all that paper?
Yeah, but that bringing cockroach.
What are you going to do with all that? Well, it's to your benefit. It's to your benefit as an entrepreneur because when the IRD chooses to review your filings at any time,
when the light shine on your name,
you need to be able to supplement the data they request for verification.
True.
Because if you cannot prove it to them, they will assume.
Yes.
And you don't want them to assume.
No, you don't want them to assume at the port and you don't want them to assume at the Inland Revenue.
Yes. So there are a lot of statutory requirements. There are a lot. Your payee, your social security contributions, these two things, they go hand in hand. They are both statutory deductions. Yeah. Because as an employer, you are required to register with the Social Security to remit contributions on behalf of your employees.
Yes.
And if you are self-employed, you are required to contribute for yourself. I hear a lot of things like, well, I don't pay Social Security now, I'm not going to get a lot out of it. What happened recently? When Social Security was considering giving the relief.
Yes, everybody wish.
In the initial stages, they said that you would have had to be a contributor to benefit from that relief. And a lot of people were left scratching their heads because there are some who were registered, but they never used to file.
Right.
And you have to file by the 14th of every month, or you risk being charged a penalty. So you realize I keep talking about penalty and penalty and penalty and penalty. There are consequences for non-compliance, and these penalties add up. You think you can go by Inland Revenue and tell them you're not paying their tax? When you go to the bank for a loan, they're sending you for a certificate of good standing from the Inland Revenue.
Yes. But I think that our system is not connected enough though. Even now, it could be tight. Things could be tighter in terms of the different institutions being more connected with each other in terms of getting information. Because if that was so, okay, look at what you just said between the bank and Inland Revenue. When you're going to open a bank account, they do not ask you for a certificate of good standing. A bank account for the business, they do not ask you for a certificate of good standing. I mean, that is a way to capture some of the businesses that just came on stream. If they have
they do. Yes, they do, you know, because they would ask you to go for your certificate of registration at SIPO.
Well,
and SIPO would have to tell them, yes, you've been filing. That's a compliance. Depends on the contract that you have. Inland Revenue has to say, well, yes, you've met all your filings, you're owing X amount of tax, or you're not owing X amount of tax. And whenever a business is registered at SIPO, the database is automatically updated at Inland Revenue. So there's shared information. Similar with
Right. So
Social
that
Security.
is increasing, but I think we can do more in like each part of the process to be connected with, to actually reach up to inland revenue, because I mean no one likes to get less profit. So I would want to get more profit, but I understand that we have to be compliant with all the statutes, and they are there for a reason. Some people think somebody just go and sleep one night and just wake up and just pass a law. No, the laws are there for a reason. So in terms of capturing people who stay under the radar for a while, we may need to tighten up and implement that connection between the different institutions where people have to do business.
I agree. We
Such
need to
as you
create
cannot leave the country
avenue.
without, one example is not specifically to do with inland, well, it's not necessarily to benefit for inland revenue, but for example, there are places where if you don't pay child support, you cannot leave the state. So that type of connectedness I am thinking about, because if you do not have that, you would really have people staying on that radar for a longer period of time. And I think every entrepreneur should be eager to give back, should be eager to contribute to inland revenue and also to Social Security. Why should you hold back the payment that is due on behalf of an employee? That just boggles me.
It's not to the advantage of your employee, and your employees are your wheels of your business. You need to ensure that they are taken care of in all aspects, because some people suffered because their employer was not remitting their contributions. And the same goes for the payee. Your payee must be remitted by your employer once your income is taxable.
Right.
And
yes.
they have to file. So I think it goes beyond just being compliant. We as individuals, whether we're an entrepreneur or we're an individual, because as an individual, you still have to file your taxes.
Yes.
We have to understand that we have a responsibility to being a citizen. And all the wheels are connected. Yes. You pay your taxes, the hospital can fix, the roads can fix. A lot of more things can be happening if our taxes contribute significantly to the revenue of the country. So it pays to be compliant on one side, the benefit to the economy, and it safeguards you from penalties and fees in the long run.
Yes. You're right. So I think that heralds the end of this session. We covered quite a bit. We covered quite a bit of the different areas that entrepreneurs should be mindful of. So if you can just give your final.
Like I said, it pays to be compliant, especially in the long run. Tax season is approaching because the end of the year for personal income tax ends on December 31st. So you would have 3 months from January through March to prepare and file your tax returns. The liquor licenses and the store and parlor licenses become due on the 31st of January. So it's important that with the many businesses that we have, they've come on stream, file your tax return. If you made a loss, file your tax return.
Yes.
Ensure that your finances are in order. Your finance focus can assist you with your statements. Ensure that you have something to show that your business is legitimate. It did operate for the past year.
Yes. Yes, I think those pieces of advice are crucial to the success of entrepreneurs and businesses and also individuals. I thank you, Luana, for being with us during this session. I
Thank
know
you
for
for having
sure,
me.
I know for sure that those who have listened to us for this time, that they have gotten a lot of information that can put them on a path to successful businesses. So
That's why we're here.
yes, that's why we're here, because it makes a difference. It makes a difference, and entrepreneurs are very important to the local economy. Besides, our personal gains from having businesses, having a country that has a drive towards entrepreneurship helps the economy tremendously.
And we're
Thanks
moving
for
in that direction. We're
yes,
moving in
yes,
that
I want us to
direction.
go there. I'm on that mission. I'm on that mission. Thanks again, and thank you to
Thanks.
you for viewing this session. It is a part of a series of video sessions that we have this Financial Information Month. We want entrepreneurs, we want individuals to be more financially responsible, and this is our way of doing our part. So, bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.